My beautiful souls to be born, here I am again. I will not forget you, and I'll keep advocating for your foreskins. I will never give up. So to just jump back quickly on my previous video about the Egyptians, I have another theory for historians, and it's like, what if the Persian conquest and the eventual decline of the ancient Egypt happened because of all the fucking infections they had in their penises? Because remember, having like a surgery, even minor, 7,000 years ago was no like piece of cake at all. So what if this sort of urge to produce more Cheetos and Doritos and just to have penises without hats created this distraction that made easier for the Persians to invade and conquer? And also, what if the amount of penises infected and just members that had to be cut off because of all the pus and blood coming out of them made procreation almost impossible? So you have those two very serious elements and you get a civilization collapse. But now we're going to a more thorny subject, which is religion. I'm a fan of religion. I don't mind at all. I respect all religions, all saints, all prophets, God, of course. But because religion is a big part of history, of our psyche, I dare to step in this sort of dangerous waters of sorts. And why? Because the literal mind is the problem. Because like when you get this fanaticism and you focus on some things and you take them in a literal sense, you have bigots on both sides of the spectrum, like theists and atheists. Both can be literally minded. So it's like, well, Abraham made a covenant, so we're gonna keep cutting penises off 5,000 years after, or whatever. And then you have the sort of the silly atheists, like, oh yeah, you're really, God created the universe in 7 days, and was there a real tree with a talking snake and talking to Eve, like Eve was a piece of shit and she tricked Adam? Well, that's kind of the literal mindedness that acts like a virus and prevents the mind from jumping to different angles and approach a topic in a dynamic way, because the mind can be fucking dynamic. So the religious history of circumcision is God appeared to Abraham. He wasn't Abraham, he was Abram before cutting his foreskin. So God promised him a lot of things. This was a 99-year-old guy, imagine. So he had to be lured into not sucking. Perhaps he sucked his own cock, but there's no sort of record about it. But you have to offer a 99-year-old guy something big just to make him consider self-circumcise himself, because that's what God wanted. He wanted Abram to cut his foreskin off. So he not only promised that he was going to father a child, almost being 100 years old, with a very old wife, that his successors were going to be kings and nations were going to be named after him, and so forth. Because like the human mind is easy to hack. You have to offer something, and then humans will do almost anything. So in this case, God appeared and said, oh, Abram, we're going to make a covenant, but the token you're going to offer me is your foreskin, because I'm God, and I fucking want you to do whatever I say. But the thing is, God cannot interfere with our own free will. So he had to suffer some risks. He ran some risks. So what do I mean by that? It's like we're talking about a 99-year-old guy, cataracts, cannot see shit. He didn't have glasses. So God risked Abraham cutting his dick off completely, because this guy didn't have any knowledge of anatomy. So Abram said, okay, I'm going to do it, God. I'm going to do it for you, God. So he tried and he cut his whole dick off. God said, shit, man. So second big bangs ensued. Yeah, he had to try. He's perfect. But he had, because of this free will stuff, and we keep fucking things over, he had to reset the universe many times. That's what people don't know. But I'm telling you right now. So then God said, okay, what can ensure Abram not cutting his whole dick off? Okay, he gave Abram a huge dick. But of course, when men grow old, things shrink. Everything shrinks, even the wit. But Abram's dick shrunk as well. But his foreskin, luckily, like skin gets looser, so he literally dragged his foreskin on the sands. So then God knew a little bit more what he was doing. So he appears again and says, "Oh, Abram, you're gonna make a covenant. You're gonna have this in return, but I want your foreskin." Because I think God also wants to fuck with us, and he says, well, let's see what humans are willing to do just to satisfy me. So he's always testing us in those ways, you cheeky God. Well, and Abram was eager to please, of course. Imagine, like, this fucking voice appears from the heavens. He said, okay, God, but help me. How do I do it? Because I don't know what the fucking foreskin is. Oh, okay. And God says, okay, grab your gigantic dick and just keep going with your hand until you feel it just closes up. That's the head. That's the tip of the pin. I don't want you to cut anything but whatever is after that sort of limit. So Abraham goes obediently, finds the tip of the penis, and then says, okay, God, this is all the skin I have loose. It was yellow as well because of the sun and the elements and stuff. So God wanted to make sure Abram didn't mess it up this time. He said, okay, Abram, please grab the tip of the foreskin with your teeth. Abram did like this. God said, pull as hard as you can, my son. And then God said, please find a sharp object like a rock, a very sharp object. And that's when Abram succeeded and cut his foreskin off. Of course, no anesthesia, no disinfectant. It was a fucking mess. He fell on the floor, blood pouring out of that not so now big dick. So God thought, okay, what can I do? So he sent two little angels to help. One of these angels was a little bit rogue. He didn't want to stain himself nor his beautiful wings. So he said, okay, there's a lot of blood coming out of here. The other angel was comforting Abraham, kissing his forehead, caressing his white mane of hair. And this rogue angel says, okay, what do I do? I'm gonna bless. I'm gonna clean the wound. But he said, I don't want to stain myself. So he used his holy mouth. He put Abram's cock in his mouth, licked the wound, made sure everything was clean, everything was pure, everything was chaste again, and he flew back into the heavens to God. Of course, this could be argued to be the beginning of this sort of magical rabbinic practice of sucking the baby's dick off after fulfilling the circumcision. And if the baby is fucking unlucky, he will get herpes. But of course, this is just a theory. So Abraham finally recovered thanks to this dick cleaning angel and fulfilled God's promise, of course. But this is a problem with literal mindedness. I don't have any issues at all if you are of age, if you're an adult, you're semi-aware, and you want to join a religion that wants you to cut your foreskin. I'm fine. I would even pay for that procedure if you want. Or we can have a celebration afterwards and eat Cheetos together. Or we can just chop your foreskin and just taste it together and celebrate your choice. That's fucking great. But not with little babies who have no say in this, please. So, my beautiful yet unborn souls, that you are facing a more than likely circumcision, I will keep advocating in your favor. I won't leave you hanging. And I'll see you next time, my friends.